The golf swing is so much easier if you can get it started correctly. And I have an awesome drill that's really gonna make this super easy for you. So there's really two important things. Number one is we wanna have a trigger, and number two is we wanna have the sensation of a throw. So let's first talk about the trigger. The trigger is what we're doing before the club even starts moving back. And what we really wanna do with this is we wanna get some pressure into that trail foot right away. We really wanna spike that pressure. So what I like to do is I actually like to kind of kick my pressure forward first and then kick it back. So that would look something like this, right? So I'm moving forward just a little bit. It's just a tiny amount and then I'm moving back. You'll see some players, they may kick their leg in. They'll see some players, they may lift up their trail heel and then put it back on the ground to apply that pressure. Play around with it and find what feels the most natural for you. But what I like to do is I kind of like to lean forward and then lean back again. That's the most common way that I see tour players do it as well. So that's number one. Number two is the throw sensation. So as soon as we get that pressure applied, we can start bringing that club back, and we want to have that sensation that we're throwing the club straight away from the target. This does lots of beneficial things for us. Number one is it allows you to get a wide takeaway. We all know how important that is for power. We don't see any tour players who bring the club back like this. When the club's parallel to the ground, where the club is not clear or the hands aren't clear of the legs yet. We always see the most powerful players and the best players have some space here between their hands and the leg when that club is parallel to the ground in the start of the backswing. So very, very important for power. Number two is it makes us to where we don't feel like we have to manipulate the face. I see all too many golfers who open up the face when they bring it back, or they'll really hood the face when they're bringing it back. Now, you can be successful doing that, but it just means that you have to do other things in the downswing to bring that back to square, and it just complicates things. It's just not necessary. So if we have the sensation of throwing it back, that's gonna get this leading edge of the club pretty close to matching my posture at this point in the swing, which means that you're not manipulating the face open or close, and there aren't gonna be a bunch of things that you have to do later to get it back to where it needs to be. So the last thing that it does is if we have the sensation of throwing this club straight back away from the target, we're not gonna bring this club way inside, right? And that is the death move of a lot of players. When we bring this club inside, the arms get really tight to the chest here, and then we really wanna throw the arms off the chest in the start of the downswing. That's gonna lead to an over the top, and we all know that's definitely not what we wanna do. So here's an awesome drill for you that's gonna help you get this trigger move and also help you get this throw sensation. So you probably noticed that I had this impact bag sitting here. You don't have to use an impact bag. You can use anything that's got a little bit of weight to it. You know, a lighter, you know, maybe I wouldn't do with a super heavy medicine ball, but like maybe like an 8-pound medicine ball would work. Not sure exactly how this weighs, but it's got some weight to it. So it's really gonna help me feel exactly what I wanna do with this. But this is an impact bag. It's from Eyeline Golf. I really like this one. There's lots of ones out there. If you want to pick this one up, I'll put a link in the description below. All right, so what we're going to do to start with this is we're going to start out in our golf posture here, just as if we were standing here with the club. And we're going to hold this bag or whatever you want to use, and we're going to kind of kick it forward a little bit, and then we're going to trigger the downswing by really trying to put as much pressure as you can into that trail foot. I want you to imagine there's a stick underneath your foot, like a twig, and right in the start of the backswing here, we're trying to break that stick in half. That's a sensation that you want to have. Really trying to put a lot of pressure into the ground. So we're going to start here, we're going to swing it in front, we're going to put that pressure into the ground, and then I want you to really brace into that lead leg. Now, what's really important with this is we don't want to go like this, right? We want to break into that trail leg, and push away, so that way we can throw it as far that way as we can. If you imagine if you were throwing something, you wouldn't go like this. That wouldn't be very powerful. If we were trying to throw this bag as powerfully as we could, we would get here, we'd put that pressure, and then we would really break and turn our chest away, right? And be able to throw that bag as far as possible. So that's the sensation that we want to have here. Swing it forward, pressure in, and then throw it away as far as possible. So let me give that a try. So hopefully I didn't hit my camera there. Trying not to hit my camera, but that's the feeling that we want to have. We're throwing that away as we come back. So now we want to have that same sensation with the golf club in our hands. So we're just going to set up here, and we're going to have that same sensation here. I want you to just do some practice swings at first. So we're going to go 1, And what I'm feeling here is I'm putting that pressure right away into that trail foot, and I'm feeling that throw of the club straight back. So 1, 2, 3. That's the feeling that I want to have that I'm doing it. I'm having the same sensation as I'm throwing that impact bag back. Now, I'm going to set to the golf ball. I'm going to try to have that same sensation there, that I'm bringing that club straight back away from the target. I'm just feeling a throw straight away from the target there, and I'm putting pressure into that trail foot right away. That's going to help me get the swing started right. All right, I hope you really enjoyed that drill, and if you did, I have an even better bonus video. Well, now that we have this backswing started correctly, we now need to learn how to get the downswing started correctly. Now, doing what we did in this video is already going to help you to do that, because if I can get that sensation of throwing the club behind me, I'm going to create that space between my lead arm and my chest here that's going to allow me to turn into my chest as I'm starting down. If we bring the club back, we try to manufacture a backswing, we bring the club back like this, we're going to tend to really want to throw the club out in front of us. So if we get this first part down, that's going to make this next part, starting the downswing, so much easier. So when we start the downswing, what we want to make sure that we're doing is that we're getting, in the beginning of the downswing, we're getting our arms and our wrists to be working in the correct way. Because honestly, if we're not in a great position by halfway down the downswing, we're toast. You know, things are moving too fast from that point into the golf ball. That is a split second. You're going to be in big trouble if you don't get that club in a great position from there. So the way to get into that great position is something that we call the anti-roll method. And Clay Ballard, the founder of Top Speed Golf, is going to show you exactly how to do that if you want to stick around and watch the bonus video. If you'd like to see the whole video, all you have to do is click the iCard that's going to appear up on your screen, or you can click the link in the description below. Play well, and I'll talk to you soon.
Here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep. And that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strike. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this. There's really only 2 pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,